Amara had always been ordinary, or at least she believed she was, until the dreams began. They weren't like the usual flickers of imagination that vanish with the morning light. These dreams felt real, as if she were remembering something that had once happened to her, in another time, another life. She saw herself walking along a seaside town she had never visited, laughing with a man whose face she couldn't quite remember, but whose voice echoed in her chest like music she'd known forever. Every morning she woke up in her quiet apartment, surrounded by familiar walls and routines, but with the unbearable ache of missing someone she had never met. The dreams became clearer with each passing night. Fragments of conversations, a shared cup of tea, the name Elias whispered like a promise. She started writing everything down in a journal, hoping it would stop feeling so real. But the more she wrote, the more her heart ached, as if those memories were clawing their way back into her waking world. One evening, while walking home from work, Amara passed a bookstore she'd never noticed before. Something about it pulled her in. A single book displayed in the window caught her eye. The Ocean Between Lives. When she opened it, her breath caught. The dedication read, "For Amara, my forever." The author's name? Elias Carter. She dropped the book, trembling. The name from her dreams, the man she had never met, was real. She bought the book, her heart pounding, and spent the night reading every page. It told the story of a woman named Amara who met a man by the sea, fell in love, and lost him in a tragic accident. The story ended with her death. Amara's heart raced as she reached the final line. "If another life finds us, I'll find you again." The next morning, Amara called the publisher listed inside the book. The voice on the other end said Elias Carter had passed away 5 years ago, in a seaside town exactly like the one from her dreams. Against all logic, she took a train there, compelled by something beyond reason. The town felt eerily familiar. The sound of the waves, the scent of salt in the air, the narrow cobblestone streets. She followed her instincts until she reached a small cottage near the cliffs. The door creaked open, revealing a woman in her 60s who looked startled when she saw her. "You look just like her," the woman whispered. "Like who?" Amara asked, her voice barely steady. "Like the woman Elias loved. She died 30 years ago." Amara's knees went weak. The woman invited her in and showed her old photographs. A woman who looked exactly like Amara, standing beside Elias, smiling in the sunlight. The resemblance was undeniable. Amara left the cottage in a daze, clutching one of the photos the woman had pressed into her hand. She walked to the edge of the cliffs where the sea roared below, the wind wrapping around her like a memory. And then she heard it, a voice behind her. "You found me." She turned, and there he was. The same face from her dreams, only older, gentler, and impossibly real. Elias. Her heart froze. You can't be," she stammered. "I'm not," he said softly. "At least not anymore. I don't exist here the way you do." His eyes shimmered with something between sadness and peace. "But you remembered, didn't you? You kept your promise." Amara felt tears streaming down her face as she stepped closer. "What are you?" she whispered. "A memory you refused to forget," he said. "You brought me back." For a moment, the air shimmered around them, and Amara felt herself standing in two worlds. One where the waves crashed below the cliffs, and another where sunlight poured through a window onto a wooden floor, where she and Elias danced in another lifetime. The memories rushed back. Their laughter, their vows, the accident that tore them apart. "I wasn't supposed to remember," she cried. "Not yet," Elias said. "But love doesn't follow rules, Amara. It finds its way, even through time." The wind howled and his form began to fade. "Wait," she screamed, reaching for him. "Don't go again." He smiled softly. "You'll see me again, when the stars forget the sky." And then he was gone, leaving only the sound of the sea and the faint warmth of his touch on her hand. Amara collapsed to her knees, sobbing. But when she opened her palm, she found something small and golden, a ring she had seen in her dreams. She returned home, carrying that ring everywhere she went, wearing it like a secret reminder that love was larger than life itself. She tried to move on, but strange things began happening. Lights flickered when she thought of him. She'd wake up with sand on her floor, though she lived miles from any beach. One night she dreamed again, only this time she saw through his eyes. Elias was standing in a quiet room, writing a letter. "If another life finds us, I'll find you again." When she woke, there was a new page in her journal. The same words, written in handwriting that wasn't hers. Fear and wonder tangled in her chest. Days passed, and she felt his presence more strongly. Her phone would light up with unknown numbers that sent blank messages at 11:11 every night, the exact time he died, according to the article she had found. On the 12th night, she received one final message. Meet me where it ended. Heart pounding, she took the train back to the seaside town. The night was cold and the fog thick, but she followed the familiar path to the cliffs. The moon hung low, silver on the water. As she reached the edge, she saw a faint light glowing over the sea. And then she heard his voice again. Amara. She turned, but no one was there. Only the reflection of two silhouettes, hers and his, cast on the waves below. Slowly she smiled through her tears. I remember everything, she whispered. The wind carried her words away, and for the first time, she felt peace. She knew he was still there, not in body, but in the invisible space where love survives even death. Years later, when Amara herself passed away in her sleep, the people who cleared her apartment found her journal. The last line she wrote read, "The ocean between lives wasn't so wide after all." When the publisher re-released Elias Carter's book, they added a new dedication at the front. For Amara, you finally found me.